Friends, today I'm getting crafty. Essentially, I am creating a moss liner for two of these really cool column sculptures that I thrifted, gosh, maybe back in summertime. I think it was like August when I did this. But I have one this is my smallest, and then I have a medium-sized one that looks very similar, and then I have two big kahunas. We're talking 6 feet tall that I'm going to give all the same treatment to. And these are going to be inside my greenhouse for the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival. The reason we are doing them now instead of 5 weeks when the build begins is because I cannot waste a single second. We've got 72 hours to construct a garden and have it feel like it has been there for decades. Oh, I mean, Nara even say 100 years. So we got to get everything done now because I'm not wasting any time once I'm in that convention center. So what's really cool about these sculptures is they're already rusty. They're already crusty. We've got some chippy paint on them. I may take more of the paint off. I may leave it. Have yet to be determined. But I'm going to walk you through essentially how I take any structure like this and convert it into a planter. There's a couple of things that I look for. I look for a strong wire cage. I look for a beautiful shape. And I always reach for a couple of different things when I do this. The first thing is a netting of some form. I just have bird netting here. I've used that really successfully in years past. And that's going to give your wire shape a little bit of heft. So if you don't want to do one of those cocoa core kind of pre-made inserts and you want to go with moss, you're going to need some structure to keep it all together. The next thing you're going to need is moss. Okay, this is where it gets really special. I went to my Northwest wholesale florist and they carry bags of moss and they're insane. I mean, just look at this sheet of moss. This is so incredible. I'm actually really impressed. I'm thinking I might not even need my bird's netting until I attempt to do the same treatment on my 6-foot wire column. We're gonna see if we have time to do all three today. It has been storming like you wouldn't believe, but let's just jump right in. And I think for this tiny little guy here, you know, I may start with this bird netting just so you get the idea of what we're doing. But essentially, your bird netting, all it's doing is providing the structure for when you start attaching your moss. I am thinking I'm going to attach my bird netting with just some really basic ties. This is nutsine twine. It's a very common garden twine. And I'm not doing anything fancy because as soon as I'm done with this project, I'm going to cut off the wires. So we're just going to loop it in very, very loosely in say like 3 or 4 spots, just depending on how big your wire is or your structure is. Now the moss that they have provided or that they were selling were these massive sheets. Like this is fresh off the log moss. And you aren't always this lucky. Sometimes you get like little tiny chunks and those are really hard to work with. But man, oh man, they have retailed crazy good moss. And so do you see how it kind of like comes off in chunks a little bit? That does make it easy to work with, but it also makes it more prone to fall through your structure. But essentially what you're going to do, for me, I want this to grow on a little bit. And so I'm going to take my moss and I'm going to start laying it green side down because I want, do you see what happens to the bird netting? As soon as I start layering my moss, all of this disappears. I'm also doing this 5 weeks ahead of schedule because I want it to grow on outside in the elements where it's really going to take root, especially in these wet conditions, and it's going to be fantastic. So I'm just going to start grabbing little chunks here. This is my smallest basket, and I'm going to begin lining it with my green side down. If you're working through a bag of living moss, what you're going to notice is that you're going to have some smaller pieces and some larger pieces. So I have some little strips like this that I'm using for my smallest form. However, I am saving this giant strip. I mean, look how long that is. I'm going to save this for my largest vessel because I'm going to need as much coverage as possible because we need to essentially create a structure where one really doesn't exist. So after I get most of this kind of filled in, I've got a little bit of I'm going to show you right here. I've created a little bit of like a bird's nest, a little bit of an indentation here. I can still see some light coming through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these extra little bits that maybe don't have as much great greenery on them, and I'm going to stick these right down in the bottom so that when I add my soil, it doesn't immediately just start like rushing down through the structure. Okay, so far so good. Now the other thing that you could do right here in the middle is you could take landscape fabric and cut out a little disc and lay that down in here. In fact, that's something that I will do commonly when I'm building a basket for a client and they want that moss look. I will actually line the bottom with a little bit of landscape fabric, or even I will take leftover bags of soil and I'll cut out a circle and I'll do little tiny puncture holes so that this is encouraged to withhold as much moisture as humanly possible. Because if you don't have that in there, it can just run straight out the bottom. Okay, so we have our surround completed. I've got my bottom nestled in, and the next thing I'm going to do is actually bring in a little bit of soil and I'm going to put it right down in the bottom. And my goal for these right now is only to have them potted up with the moss. I want the moss to really get established, and then I'll probably come back in another 3 weeks or maybe even at the show and build the florals that we emanate or like coming out the top. It's going to be so good. A couple things that I'm doing that are a little bit of those nuanced items, but really help this whole thing take shape is you're going to see me push all of my soil to the outside edge. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm creating space in this kind of this little inner area for roots of plants that I'm going to put in here. The other thing it does is I want soil in contact with the moss that I've just planted, because what I want the moss to do is I want it to retain as much moisture as possible, and I'm going to achieve that by having dirt right on those roots. The other thing, hopefully, is that in the next 5 weeks, little root hairs from this moss will become established and actually kind of give this a living shape and not just a faux shape that I've created with my bird netting, and not just have it rely on the bird netting and the initial shape of the moss that I've purchased. So this side is a little bit low, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add moss with, instead of the greenery facing down, I'm now going to face it up a little bit, because what I want to do is, this is a very shallow vessel, and I want to create the illusion that we've got a bigger basket than we actually have. So I'm just going to continue around the edge, adding my moss facing up as well. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. Is that so fun? I'm just going to give it one last look. You guys, this is one of those projects that it feels like we're creating like a woodland bird nest, and is very much going to contribute to this very lived-in aesthetic. Okay, this right here for me, this is looking perfect. Okay, so it's at this point, once I feel like my network is really fully in place, this is where I will start going around and cutting off my bird's netting. Now, I'm not worried about getting really close to the wire structure under here, because honestly, this bird's netting, you don't even see it once this little guy is all in place. So for me, I'm just concerned about giving it a little bit of an overhang. I actually like to leave about 1 inch hanging over, maybe a 1/2 inch in areas, but you can always tuck that back into the moss. It's really, you guys, this is so simple and easy. So last thing you're doing here with this little moss basket is you're cutting your strings out. The strings were really only in place temporarily so that it held the bird netting down as I began to fill it with moss and dirt, and it wasn't just shifting every which way for you. Okay, this is another project where I could keep futzing until the end of time. All right, I think I may put in, gosh, okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna put in a few last little chunks, and then we're gonna move on to the bigger one because I am really excited to kind of build that one out and see how that one comes to life. But so far, this is fantastic. I've built up my edge by, you guys, what is that, 2 inches? And that's gonna allow me to even put more things in on top because I'm imagining daffodil bulbs coming up, maybe some mascari, oh gosh, hellebore would be so cute coming out of this. Okay, we have 8 million options. And the key to keeping this alive until the show is I'm not gonna bring this inside because that'll dry it out like nobody's business. I'm gonna keep this outside. It's gonna be in a very wet location. If I run into a week of dry weather, I'm gonna be out here with my mister, like really giving this the what for, because I don't want this to dry out for a single second. Oh, also don't put it in full sun because this will become crispy faster than you will even believe. So moist, shady, wet conditions, she stays happy. So now that I've gone over the basics of how I'm approaching these two, I'm gonna set you up and we're gonna work some magic on this one. Turning out so cute. What I decided to do on the larger ones, so the first one was a little bit smaller, this one is a little bit bigger, and the third one I'm going to do, that's like the biggest. I've decided to leave my ties in place, and honestly, you can't even see them because the moss is draping so beautifully. And the reason I kind of decided to do that is I thought to myself, you know, until this gets a beautiful root system going on, it might be nice to have those strings kind of holding that bird netting up in place. I'm going to place this outside so it gets a little bit of rain, and I'm going to bring in the big one. When I'm looking at the size of the big one and how much moss I have left, I don't think I'm going to get it all done today, but I do think I'm going to start building the basket just to see how far we get. I have 2 of this largest size, and they did have extra bags at the florist, so I need to run down there tomorrow morning when they open to make sure I'm getting the same batch because I really love how feathery and very ferny this particular moss that they sourced is. And so I got to run back down there and grab another bag, but I'm at least going to get started on the biggest basket. So here we go. Well, hey friends, welcome to the ceiling of La Casita. Ooh, okay, I told you this column was big. She big, but how gorgeous is this giant rusted column? You know, the ceiling, the interior ceiling height of the greenhouse, the BC greenhouse, it's over 14 feet tall. And so if I don't bring in something substantial, I'm gonna look like I'm new. I'm gonna look like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, warning to all of you out there. It is dang, and I do mean dang hard to work with bird netting sometimes. Sometimes it just does not want to cooperate, but this is going to be gorgeous. Friends, I purchased these columns and didn't realize at the time that there is no bottom. There's no wire mesh. There's no nothing. And so I for sure am going to leave the ties in place for this particular column, because if I don't, this whole thing is going to go sliding right on out the bottom. You know, Brian is also reminding me, we do have chicken wire in the garage. So I could build kind of a faux bottom structure. That might be nice. That might be nice. But we're going to see what we can get accomplished with just using ties and our bird netting, because bird netting is insanely strong and I use it for a lot of things. So when you are doing a basket this big, a couple of tidbits that you might want to fall back on. As you go around, you're going to need to pleat your bird netting or whatever netting you're using so you actually can find this bowl shape. The other thing I ended up doing is I ended up tying off a couple of pieces right on the bottom here just to give it a bit more structure and to provide a bit more shape. So, oh gosh, I think I'm going to add one more right here, but then we're going to start moving in with our moss layer. That is so pretty. Okay, if you are attempting to do this on a giant 6-foot column, I suggest you have an assistant. Brian is being a very good assistant today. And I'm doing the same technique where I'm like pushing it against the wall of this little bird netting structure I've created. And you can see how it's like filling in all of these little nooks and crannies and giving this a lot more structure and support. Gosh, that's looking good. Holy. Mission accomplished. It is looking so good. I am so thrilled. Now, the tricky thing about doing this massive one is it's not like the little guys that can sit outside and they're really sturdy. This thing is 6 feet tall, as evidenced as me doing this on a ladder. And so Brian and I are trying to figure out what we're going to do to keep this upright. One thought is we actually might bungee it to our fence. It's not the prettiest, but we just need it to stay upright until we can get it in at the show. The other thought is I could dig it down in the ground a little bit. There's a crossbar at the bottom that we can drive stakes through, but I think the better plan is just to bungee it to our fence. So in any event, this is going to do it for me. I feel very accomplished. I've got one more to do, but I'll do that probably tomorrow off camera. But in the meantime, if you are wanting to attempt this, it is such a lovely, fun project. Just remember what I told you. Keep it out of the sun. Definitely mist it. Don't just water it, because moss really drinks in moisture through its foliage. So watering as well as heavy misting are going to be your best friends here. And it's definitely something I'm going to be doing in the convention center, because something I battle there are very dry conditions. So that is why I always have at least 2 misters on hand. And I'm going through that garden every night, giving everything that needs a little bit of added moisture their fair share. Okay, I'm going to see you in the next one. The preparation continues, and get out there and say hello to your garden for me. We'll see you soon. Bye.